I can breathe.
So you better learn how to breathe quick.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Queer in Present Danger. My name is JD, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Tyler and Tig. How are we doing today, guys?
Bopping to the beat.
Jamming out with that.
I see y'all were
intro music. That's fabulous.
Y'all were doing what needed to be done.
That was a great
baby.
intro. We were ready.
We were getting it.
Doing good though. Doing good.
Good. That's
Well,
what I like to hear.
I'm tired.
Listen, baby, I know you got to
I
be
am as
tired.
well.
This
You got to be.
last week, the start to this week has just been a fucking kick to the balls. But I'm gonna make it. Gonna make it because I will outlive Mitch McConnell. But
We don't have a choice but to
life
make
goals.
it. That's what I keep telling myself.
Life goals. Just gonna outlive Mitch McConnell.
I mean,
Till he
What?
crawls
I
back
hope.
into his neck like the turtle that he
did
is.
you say crawl back into his neck? You
Like the
don't
turtle
have to
that
be
he
this
is.
way. You literally don't have to do this. This is a choice that you make, and I don't understand why.
And
you're
I'm
making
proud of it, and I stand by it with all 10 toes.
it. I mean, I'm here for it. I love it. Give me more. Put it in
It is.
Put it in my face.
And I think it's a great start, right? Like,
Right.
Hi, let's actually do our quick intros. Hi, everybody. I'm Tikendriok. I am the, I guess, resident professor of our little chat group here, our little podcast. I try to deep dive into facts whenever I feel like it. But today, not so much. Today is just bitch fest, and I'm excited for it. What about you, Tyler?
Hi, everyone. I am Tyler Thulin, and my links on my socials are right there. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Lots of destruction and mayhem going on in our lovely country. But I'm optimistic.
And I'm we didn't have an episode last 2 weeks ago because I was running for Mr. Missouri Leather. And for those who don't know, I won Mr. Missouri Leather. And that started a high.
Hell yeah.
And that started a high that came crashing down today. So I'm doing fine. Everything's fine. Everything's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get through it.
But
Just breathe.
we get to cut out people today. So today is on Queer and Present Danger. We're just calling people in front of the congregation. That's what the plan is today. A lot of people while we were on our break have been on some bullshit, and it is time to let those people know that they were on some bullshit and that we need to fix it. And so it is today. It's just today. It's the pastors. It's cussing out the congregation today. So with that being said, and without any less fanfare, first up to the front of the church is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, please bring your ass to the front of the church. The congregation is here. They're waiting for you to. I'm tired of you. Like, I am literally tired of you. I could not be if I were any more tired of you, I would be asleep right now. Can you just tell the truth and tell everybody that you bought Twitter so that you could turn it into the right-wing cesspool that it is right now? That you could turn it in to a font for the amount of misinformation, disinformation, and outright lies that you have turned it into. I am
Chaos.
tired. I am over it. I want you to go away. I want you to do it. First of all, this is going to be problematic for me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. First of all, you're not even from here.
Nope.
You was a South African. You are a child of colonialism. You are the ultimate colonizer, bitch. And you have the nerve and the unmitigated gall to come to this country, a country that has afforded you rights and privileges that you did not have in your country, and turn it you are doing more harm than good everywhere you go to. You have done nothing but make things worse since I've known who you were. I would like for you to please, I don't care about your dark Brandon, your dark MAGA, you're dork MAGA, bitch, dork MAGA. You're a nerd. No one likes you. Your child doesn't even like you. You have children that hate you, bitch. Do you know why? Because you are the worst. You are the worst. The worst.
And we can't even pronounce their names.
Those are just the
They're
ones
symbols.
that he's had recently. He has a full daughter. Go ahead. A full son, sorry.
Yeah,
He
I
has
want
a
to jump
son.
in for the one.
Go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in with you came out touting the absolute majestic, and I will say that, majestic idea that you were doing it so free speech could be heard. Okay, the only free speech that everyone noticed was being monitored and prevented was misinformation, which was rampant on X, and Nazis. I mean, let's put the fucking flag. I'm not going to actually say what they use, but that red flag that everybody knows the hell I'm talking about, right front and center. And now you've produced such a hallmark, a beauty, a beautiful tapestry of insanity that the only real things that people find on X are some of the best, cheapest porn that we can find. That is, you've produced a porn website, sir. Congratulations.
Because that's
I
the only
know why
reason
you
to go
named it
on.
X now. I know why you have it as X now, because every single one of us goes to Twitter to look at all of the X's and go, damn, they were that fucking crazy. That's why we call it. That's why we don't call it X. We still call it Twitter. Because if we do call it X, it's because we see them bitches on there. We see the nut jobs. We see the for those that are in the fully heterosexual community, we see all the OnlyFans ladies hopping up there, because why the hell not?
Dudes. And OnlyFans dudes.
They're gonna get
They're
they're gonna get their money. They're gonna get their money, and good for them. I have nothing against sex work. I think it's a fantastic work, and it's one of the oldest professions. But your freedom that you so righteously tout as what you've offered to the people for letting X run wild is lunacy. Like you absolutely just let speak vehemence and terrible things with no repercussions. But guess what? Thankfully, the world isn't too damn stupid to be able to be like, well, make a note of that guy, that girl, and that whatever the hell you are, and we're gonna go ahead and notify your job that you spout this shit. That's the consequence of what you consider free speech. You have the ability to say whatever you want, but guess what? You do have the right to face the consequences.
That part. And the other thing, it isn't that you are touting this free speech bastion, because if anyone says anything about you, if anyone says anything negative about you, the first thing that you do is you block them and you ban them. That is the first thing that you do. So
yes,
therefore, it isn't necessarily about free speech. If you don't care about free speech. What you wanted was an echo chamber that, and you got it. It's yours. You can have it, baby. It's all yours. But leave us alone. Leave us alone. And now you are offering $47 to people who get other MAGA people to go and to register to vote. Baby,
He didn't
you-
specifically say MAGA. I'm sorry. Let me put on my little keyboard warrior helmet here and just say he didn't specifically say MAGA. He said people who register to vote in red states, or excuse me,
In
I'm
swing
sorry. I
states.
also did that in swing states. But we all know since you walked on a stage with your dork MAGA hat, who you're talking about getting to register to vote. There isn't anyone who believes that you want people like you know what? You know what? I'll test the theory. I will go and find random ass people here, get them to register to vote, show, not sure how I show because you haven't actually been upfront about how we prove that we did this. So I'll just, I'll go collect the oh my god, what is it called? Whenever the obituaries. I'll go find the obituaries and say that I did it. How are you going to prove me wrong? You have zero ability to do that. And guess what? In fact, if you don't fact check me, which we all know the Republicans love to hear about fact checking, if you honestly feel like you're not going to fact check me, how are you fact checking any of these people that you're going to give $47 to? You're just going to trust
that would
them?
mean he would have to actually do it. See, the thing
Yeah, no
about
one's
the
getting paid.
thing about Elon Musk is that he is a chaos agent. He is and always has been a chaos agent. He doesn't care about what the cause is. He just wants to stir the pot.
Right, Elon.
And
You
if
don't
you look
care.
at if you look at all of the SEC stuff and you look at what he did to the stock markets on numerous occasions, he is an influencer to the point, and he actually relishes in the fact that he can make a very obscure tweet and crash the market the next day just based on or have certain things move, but it's so obscure that he's able to skirt around and say that oh no, that wasn't what I talked about. Well, then why did you go and buy why did you go and unload 50,000 shares of this company, or why'd you go and buy 50,000 shares of this company just like a week beforehand or the day before, if that wasn't what you were talking about?
Because you tell lies, Elon. You tell lies. You don't know how to not be a liar. And that is the problem. You don't know how to not be a liar. You are the worst. You are the literal worst. You are what happens when dreams go to die. And I want you.
You're what Trump would be if he actually had
away.
money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And here's the deal. I personally don't think Donald Trump likes Elon Musk.
No.
But you know what? That money.
Well, and
Well-
it's amazing that he's said it's amazing that Trump said that he's going to arrest and hold accountable, his word, Mark Zuckerberg for election interference. Yeah, for election interference. And yet Mark basically all he did on Facebook was put out the whole like stopping misinformation during all of that, and all of the stuff that was easily and readily identifiable as Russian propaganda being tossed out there. And yet Elon's doing the exact same thing, only he's promoting the propaganda.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the only reason you like Elon is because Elon is a fucking nut job who's allowing you to spread
But they're all
your
chaos
BS.
agents.
And it proves the point that Donald Trump literally only can be baited by a tweet and a random comment, and all you have to do is give him a little bit of praise and pet him on the head like a lovesick puppy, and he will like you. You have no moral center. You have no place that is the only person you care about is you. Which brings me to Donald Trump. Please bring yourself up to, you know what? Before I do that, tell who you want to cuss
I'm gonna politely ask that Mike Johnson come down to the floor, sir.
Oh yeah.
Can you
Good, he was on my list too.
can you properly explain to me the thought process, the epic and glorious decision to not call Congress back in to offer up more FEMA money to help pay for the disasters? Because there's no reason, no logical reason. Oh wait, sorry, congregation. I thought of a logical reason. You guys want political chaos based upon the death and disenfranchisement of the American people in order to ensure that you clasp up another 2 or 3 things by claiming falsely that no one has been out there helping people, that there's only $750 that anyone is actually getting from FEMA, which has been vastly disproven. $750 is what FEMA can literally walk up and hand you the first time they meet you when you say you have something. That is money in hand they can hand you and say, please get the water and the food and the diapers and the formula and the rest of the shit that you need ordered in. We will get it to you, but here is money so you can pay base level necessities in this moment. Then here is the paperwork so we can get you everything else you need. Everything else you need. As long as Mr. Johnson, you get Congress to come back and give them the fucking money. But hold on. I also forgot. Haven't you douchebags claimed that what Democrats are trying to send all this aid to Ukraine? Do you not understand how your funding works? You are the Speaker of the House of Congress, the literal purse strings of the United States. And you don't understand that a budget doesn't mean this pot is all you have. Your pot is the size of the national income, the national GDP that we are able to put out in a year. Technically, it's not. Technically, it's this fake made up thing that we're eventually going to pay off if we stop incurring debt. But, you know, wars are a thing and we like making boom boom sticks. Anyway, that money is then subdivided as any household does to pay
Hold on,
for
before you do
mortgage,
this,
to pay for
before you go any
rent, to
further,
pay for.
Before you go any further,
I've been paused. Oh, are we getting Professor Tig moment here?
Oh.
I think, yeah, here it is.
What are we explaining,
That's
Professor
fine. It's
Tig?
fine. Well, hello, children. Welcome to the class today. I would just like to bring up the point that it definitely understands, Mr. Johnson, that you've been improperly telling people about how our national system of the purse. I'm just going to simplify it down to what Congress does. For those that have been misinformed, and I'm not going to say ill-informed, because you've been purposely misinformed. There's a difference. Ill-informed involves the idea of unfortunately are accidentally telling you something incorrect. Being misinformed means they knowingly and deliberately are telling you something that is not true. So Professor
Malicious
Tig is
lies.
going to sit down. Mr. Johnson, just have a seat in the front, because I know if you're in the back, people are just going to forget about you. Like we had no idea who the hell you were whenever they first pushed you to the front of the line, because no one knew who you were, and therefore no one could really claim that you were the lunatic that you are. I would just like you to understand how things actually work. And hold on a moment, everybody. I'm being interrupted.
while that is
Okay, thank you. That's actually something I'll take for an interruption, because this is a great moment for it. Thank you. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a podcast. So I can't show exactly who made it because they'll give me shit about it, because this bitch that used to own this company was definitely a diehard Republican, and she can thankfully rot in hell right now. But I'll show my fellow podcast leads who I'm speaking about, but I'm sure they know, because bitch was from St. Louis. But with all of this, Professor Tig needs a moment. Hold on, let me part.
I was
Delicious.
About putting
Okay.
things in your mouth like that, but
It's root beer. Fight me.
I said what I said.
The point that I need to teach you, Mr. Johnson, because obviously people know who you are now and will forever as the most ineffectual, most sad and pathetic Speaker of the House ever, because you idiots haven't done anything. You're all going home to celebrate your wins and try to get yourself reelected. And every one of you gets to show off your accomplishments. Something's missing. Oh, that's right. You didn't do anything. But for everybody, going back to Professor Tig's moment, because I'm in bitch mode today and I feel like yelling at people. You have been misinformed and misled that Congress is the ones who decide on the budgets and the way things are broken down. And they do that every year, except for the last few that the Republicans have been in charge, where they have only done continuances. For those that are unaware, a continuance is basically they just say, hey, yeah, we're just going to keep spending the same money that has already been approved because we can't figure out a budget because we don't know how to. That's the nicest way I can put it.
I can think of one way they could. They could quit bitching at each other and actually do their fucking jobs.
Well, that would involve the Republicans having a ability at this point, because of the state of the nation and our forced back and forth that we've driven ourselves to, speaking to the Democrats. Anyway, going back
civil?
to civil, yeah, are not caring more about being elected than actually doing what they're supposed to, representing their people. Going back to Professor Tig for a moment. The continuance has basically just said, we're just going to keep pushing the ball down the road. We're not going to try to define a budget and how much we're planning on spending. We're just going to keep spending the same amounts that were approved years ago and just keep rolling that ball down the hill because we don't know how to budget, which is further proving my point, Mr. Johnson, that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I can't just focus on you. I'm just going to bring all the Republican congressional group. Just come on, everybody down. I know it's a small space, but you all have big egos, small footprints. I appreciate that. Big egos, small footprints. And you all need to understand that the money that you have just said, yeah, we're going to keep doing that because you can't figure things out, doesn't just go into one big bucket like a house. You have money for your mortgage. You have money for your electric. You have money for your apparently the largest army in the world, or the most advanced army in the world, because we just keep dumping money into that. You have money for Medicare. You have money for stuff that we're sending you to Ukraine. By the way, for those that are still confused about this, we do not send bags of cash to Ukraine. We approve an amount of money that equates to actual equipment and ammunition that is being sent. That's what we're sending. And but we're sending them all of our stuff. We're sending them stuff that has been mothballed for the last 20 to 30 years. It is stuff that it has basically run its course because we always have to get the better, best, and beyond for our own military. We are sending them stuff that is 20 years outdated, 30 years outdated. Stuff that if we sent Ukraine what we are currently using equipment wise, because we don't send money, I need to make sure you all understand that. If we sent them all of our newest things, Russia, the Ukrainian army that invaded Russia in the counter invasion, would have been sitting in Moscow looking at Putin running down the street naked. It would have been the biggest backslap in the world. They've already proven that they can do it. It's just whatever. Coming back. Sorry, I keep going on tangents. Finishing up, the money that goes to Ukraine, the money that goes to immigration stuff, the money that goes, I'm blanketing that so you can't say I'm not talking about something specific. The money that goes to hurricane relief, FEMA, and disaster relief are different pots. The money that has been set aside for FEMA's not out of money. And if they are running low because of the sheer number of disasters that we are currently dealing with, guess who gets to give them more money, Mr. Johnson? You do. And you saying you're not coming back till after the election is only so you all can watch Americans die because you did not give them more resources. And you're going to claim, despite the fact that you all are the ones who give FEMA money, that the administration is failing the American people. But if we come back and we follow that money, it's Congress. It is Congress who is able to get more money to help the people in need. And you, Mr. Johnson, for saying that you're just going to wait till after the election, damn you, sir. Damn you and
Ooh.
every other Republican straight to hell, because I guarantee the Lord and Savior that you all claim that is part of your side of the aisle, which is hilarious that you claim that God is on any side, because if you follow anything about the Bible, you understand that supposedly he's here for all of us. May not be a believer myself in the good Christian word according to you, but I did read my Bible and I do understand that he is meant to be here for every person on earth. And you are further proving you have no idea what that book says. So, in conclusion, as I backhand you with this Bible, sit down in Congress and do your damn job. Give them money to help protect Americans.
But
I'm done.
Professor
I'm happy.
Tig, what's this? An article that says more than 60 House Democrats have signed on a letter urging House Speaker Mike Johnson to immediately call Congress back into session to pass funding addressing Hurricane Helene and Milton.
You know what? I did see
Mic
something about
drop.
that today. That's interesting. There were 60 Democrats. Hey, Tyler, thank you for bringing this show and tell to class. Can you tell me, were there any Republicans who joined them?
No. The letter was signed by 63 House Democrats, including multiple members of leadership and committee-ranked members. It was not, however, signed by any Republicans, despite some GOP lawmakers making the case that the House should cut its recess short to respond to storms.
And here's the note for that.
GOP lawmakers told them to do their fucking jobs.
And here's a note for that. 63 Democrats, include most, from the sound of it, most leadership people said, we want to come back and help the American people. The GOP has lawmakers, did not say leadership. Make a very careful note of who leads that party. Lawmakers said they should cut recess short. None of them signed the paper because then it would be used against them, and they're all too damn scared to do their job.
Well, between that and then they can also scoop up after the disaster and purchase that land for pennies on the dollar. And
well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. They wouldn't do it themselves because they wouldn't do it themselves because that's too upfront. They would definitely have their brother do it though, or their sons.
I don't know.
Hey Don, what you doing? Junior, what you buying in Georgia? No proof of that, just fact that his whole family has abused that position. But we can continue. I've had my moment. Mr. Johnson, just sit there and color. It's all you're really good at. Inside the lines. You can't go inside the lines. That's right. Anyway, fuck it. Just sit in the corner and chew on it for a minute.
That's what he said. Tyler, do you have anyone that you would like to cuss out, or would you like me to continue on with my thing? Because
I basically I'm extending that past.
I love the
Johnson
jump
to just
in though.
All of the fucking Republicans that are not and to anyone that lives in any of these states that are being affected by this actually just any states that has a Republican representative, call them up and urge them to do something
Demand. If you actually say
Demand
you
it.
care about your fellow Americans, demand that they
And if
go
they
back
don't,
and help your people.
then vote them out.
Because they
It's
sure
that
aren't
simple.
going to
Vote
listen
them
to
out.
you.
It is that simple. We will
Um,
never get over this left, right, blame everything on whoever is in power bullshit until we actually stand up for our liberties and make sure that people are representing us correctly.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Mm.
And so I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit. Michael Eric Dyson, please bring your ass to the front of the congregation.
Who?
Michael Eric Dyson, listen, you are a prolific writer. You say things that I love. I think sometimes you speak truth to power. You do all of those things. You are smart. You are articulate. You are this. You are a great human who cares about people. So why, on God's green and fertile earth, are you DMing Nancy Mace talking about how beautiful
Nancy
she is?
fucking Mace. Nancy
Why
fucking Mace.
are you
You're
trying to
kidding me.
consult with the enemy? What are you doing here? What is this? Now, listen, I know that you
I don't
tried to
even know
clean
who
it up.
these people are.
You tried to clean it up and say that you were just showing that this is just how you are. It's how you talk to people. You were trying to make her feel good. None of that matters to these people. What you did was you put a target on your back. You should have known that what Nancy Mace was going to do was take those very messages and submit them to evidence on the House record, because they can't help themselves. They are all grifters. This is all about a tit for tat, winning above all else. They don't understand the meaning of the words integrity, honesty,
And
respect. They don't know. They don't understand any of that stuff. They don't know it. And so you have to treat them as if they don't know these things. And you, my good sir, should have known better and not think about the head that's in your pants. Please do better for all of us, because what you did was you undermined everything you said to her on camera. You undermined every bit of it, and you were right. You were right. The only problem that I had is that you were saying that you don't think that she was saying Kamala Harris's name wrong to be an ass and be racist. That's exactly what the fuck she was doing. They do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. You were right in that situation. And I still have to sit here and cuss you out because you can't keep it in your pants. Sit down somewhere and shut up.
Amen.
Pig.
I've got a quick one.
Okay.
Gabe motherfucking Evans,
Oh, geez.
Mr. Republican. I'm going to call you an ass. I'm just going to stick to that because I don't want to refer to you as a representative running for Congress, because what I have learned about you over the last 8 to 12 hours has blown my damn mind. Sir, come down here. Come down here. So first off, let me just go ahead and do this. Pah! Right across your face, because apparently, according to you, I'm allowed to hit you whenever I feel like you're out of line. Specifically, according to the law that you specifically spoke about during your debate today, I quote from Colorado Revised Statutes, Title 18, Criminal Code 18-1-703, Use of Physical Force, Special Relationships. The use of physical force upon another person that would otherwise constitute an offense is justifiable and not criminal under any of the following circumstances. First off, hold on, let me sidebar. Sir, stand there while I'm going to turn on the slapping machine and let it hit you for a minute. Colorado? The fuck? You've coded into law the ability for people to just physically harm someone else whenever they think it's justifiable? Review that statute and then get back to me. For the moment, you just go sit in your corner. I said sit, stay. I know you guys are high as shit. Just go find a corner and sit. They're walking out the door. I'll deal with them later.
That's the shrooms.
Not the whole state of style.
Hey, I'm going to call out the state when they've written this. I have read this statute as Professor Tig does whenever he gets some random fucking rabbit to chase down. So I'm gonna another Professor Tig moment to finish the point. The use of physical force on another person that would section 1, by the way, that would otherwise constitute an offense is justifiable and not criminal under any of the following circumstances. 1, subsection A. A parent, guardian, or other person entrusted with the care and supervision of a minor are an incompetent person. Sir, Gabe, I believe that second part applies to you. Just stand there and shut up. And a teacher or other person entrusted with the care and supervision of a minor may use reasonable and appropriate physical force upon the minor or incompetent person. Just go ahead and hit you again, Gabe. And to the extent that it isn't, apparently it's legal in Colorado. So you just shut up and let me hit you. A reasonable and necessary and appropriate to maintain discipline or promote the welfare of the minor or incompetent person. For anyone who doesn't understand it because YouTube's dumb, I am not promoting violence. I am making a mockery, and therefore it is allowed because satire of this law, and more specifically, the heritage or the parental heritage group or whatever the hell it is that you're a part of. Hold on, I have that quote too. You're first off, another moment. Everyone in the congregation, can we stand up and applaud for Kyle Clark yet again proving that he is one of the best political moderators currently in the United States?
Yes, he is.
Please, thank you, everybody. Thank you. That man holds people's feet to the fire and lets them roast. His quote asking this question of Gabe Evans during the debate is, you're a vocal supporter of the Christian homeschooling movement, and you're a member of a Christian group called Heritage Defense. First off, you use the term heritage with the reflection that it currently has, and the only thing I think of is men in white hoods, men walking down in jackboots, and the entire Confederacy trying to rise up again.
Don't forget polo shirts and tiki torches.
Oh, that's right. Polo shirts, tiki torches, North Carolina. We recognize your stupidity. Moving South Carolina, whichever fucking one it was.
It was North Carolina.
Either way. They blew away. It's fine.
It was one of the Carolinas. Don't do that.
It's fine. Don't. Yeah. Right now, no. That's not the time.
Sorry, too soon.
Yeah. R is the group which defends parents accused of beating their children. Your group is defending people beating their children. That's a quote from multiple people. I could look up the specifics, but even one just tells me that group is just a nasty, terrible place. And most likely CFS should go check all of your people and just take those kids away. Or as the group describes corporal punishment, quote, following the biblical protocol in the training and discipline of their children. I didn't know the Bible promoted beating children.
Oh yeah, spare the rod and spoil the child.
Yeah, you guys really love to read a really fucking weird Bible. Anyway, as a state legislature last year, you voted against a ban on corporal punishment in Colorado's public schools. Good for you, Gabe. You definitely stand in that stupid fucking hole that you're digging. A brief answer, please. When do you believe that it is acceptable to hit a child at home and at school? Evans' response. That answer is already in the law right now. It's in Title 18-1-703. So you can go refer to the law where it talks about the special exception that parents and guardians have when tasked with the upbringing of a minor. But I want to address something you mentioned. Clark, the quality man that you are. How about public schools? When it is appropriate for a child to be hit in public school? Evans, we need to ensure that we are providing a safe place for our kids to be able to learn in our public schools. I was a part-time school resource. There was a security exception. This went beyond the security exception when people needed to be able to control children for safety reasons. When should children be hit in school? I was a part-time school resource officer for about 2 years at my law enforcement agency. And so one of the biggest things that I hear from teachers is, I apologize, sir. If you're not going to answer the question, we're going to use the time for something else. Thank you, Clark, for not letting that idiot try to say something out of that. But back to you, Mr. Evans. You didn't answer the question because you don't have an answer, because you believe that it is appropriate to hit children. First off, you lost. You absolutely lost. Do I believe in hitting children? No. Do I believe in corporal punishment? No. But that is my place to stand on. It's how I was brought up with corporal punishment, and I don't practice that with my child. I don't believe that it is my specific ability to tell everyone else how to raise their children. But if you start talking about hitting children, you lost, because you did not define what that means. So if a kid talks too loud, if a kid is ADHD and is having trouble sitting down, are all of those appropriate moments to hit a child? You didn't answer, because any answer you gave would show the terrible human being that you are. So, Mr. Evans, if you're fine with the idea of somebody hitting a child or an incompetent person, sir, you are one of the most incompetent asses I have ever met. Realize the law applies to everyone. And if I have to take care of your ass as a member of the American community, and you're serving me as part of your district in Colorado, because yes, your constituents are in Colorado, but you, sir, serve in the U.S. government. I am a U.S. citizen. If I call you incompetent and we're standing in Colorado, I'm a student of the law, and I guess I get to define who's incompetent.
Quick question. In that law, does it specify what is considered reasonable?
No. Reasonably necessary and appropriate to maintain discipline or promote the welfare of a minor or incompetent person. That by itself is the reason I called out Colorado, because there is no definition in here, because it also goes on to a superintendent or authorized official of a jail, prison, or correctional institution may, in order to maintain order and discipline, use objectively reasonable, appropriate physical force when, to the extent that he or she reasonably believes it necessary to maintain order and discipline, but he or she may use deadly force only when he or she is objectively reasonably believes the inmate poses an imminent threat to the person using deadly force or another person. A person responsible for the subsection C, a person responsible for maintenance of order in a common carrier of passengers, or a person acting under his direction may use reasonable appropriate physical force when and to the extent that is necessary to maintain order and discipline, but he may use deadly force only when reasonably necessary to prevent death or bodily injury. So if I'm riding on a bus and the bus driver thinks I'm acting out, he can backhand me. Colorado, define this. A person acting under reasonable belief that another person is about to commit suicide or inflict seriously bodily harm may use reasonable appropriate force to physical force upon that person to the extent that is reasonably necessary to thwart the result. A duly licensed physician, advanced practice nurse, or person acting under his or her direction may use reasonable. I'll read through the rest of it, but the basic stance is nope. They don't define it, or at least don't define it well.
Yeah, because they mention force, which many would take as like a form of restraining.
The heritage, whatever it is, the heritage defense does not define it as a restraint. Based upon the reports I've seen, because of the comment about
they want corporal
defends parents accused of beating their children. Based upon that information, I fully and completely believe that it means spanking. That's a choice. I don't do it. The college
we're far more evolved for that. kind of
The
brutality.
Psychology Association of America has actually stated that has zero positive effect on a child. It actually harms them.
Mhm.
So do your own research. You are your own parent. It is your child, but believe me, I've done the research, and physical correction has not been proven in any way, shape, or form to positively any positive outcomes. But yeah,
In fact, it
the
can
Heritage
exacerbate
Foundation
and
can.
create more opportunities to act out.
Yep.
So
And we can
I
go
don't wanna
down that
cut that
rabbit
off.
hole another
That's a
time.
different-
No, we
that's
can go
a-
down that rabbit hole a different time because Professor Tig's in session and I'm about to have a whole thing. So let's move on and start bitching some more people out.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do this real fast. This ain't gonna take long.
Don't pet the bison.
Don't pet the fluffy cows. First things
Oh.
first. Shout outs to the people that are watching right now. Taylor, I see you. I love you, boo boo. The state of Florida. Now I recognize that you are going through some things right now. More specifically, the state of Florida correctional system. You have bearing down on you as we speak, as we are sitting here talking and doing this show. You are in the midst of a hurricane. You were given an evacuation order either yesterday or this morning. And you decided that even though you were in the middle of a dangerous hurricane, that you were not going to evacuate the inmates of the facilities that are in the path. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to feel shame in your heart. If anybody in that care dies, it is on you. You have blood on your hands for that. Because I don't care what they did. I don't give a hot nut. I don't care what they did. They do not deserve to be put in a situation where their life is in danger, where they could have gotten out. It makes no sense to me how you could call another human being. A lot of these people are in jail for drug possession. They're in jail for nonviolent crime. They're in and you decided we don't give a shit about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
These people are in the path of danger, and you left them there. That is how you feel about humanity. So I don't want to hear anything about being pro-life. I don't want to hear anything about being value them both. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear a damn thing about any of that. If you would let people die because they are in a situation, you don't know what led them to the situation that they were in, where they did the things that they did. And you still left them in a space where they could die. I see your hand up, Tig. Just give me a second. I got to get it all out.
Go for it.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
There is so, where is your humanity? Where is it? Because I can't find it. Those are people, yes, they are in the prison system. Yes, they are, wards of the state. Yes, they are all of these things, but they are also human beings.
As wards of the state, it's the state's responsibility to take care of them.
Exactly. Go ahead, Ted.
For all those families who have someone who is in one of those situations where they've left them behind, I would like to advise you of the rights of inmates, because they do still retain rights as human beings and as citizens of the United States. Even as felons, they are still allowed and given the rights of a citizen of the United States. So please remember something very important. We are a country that utilizes private private running of our prisons. We have for-profit prisons. First and foremost, that is a travesty, and it is a dark stain on our country. Next, for those families, if you discover that your loved one, despite whatever their crime was, they are still a human being. If you discover that they were left in this position, as Tyler stated, that is cruel and unusual punishment and risk of bodily harm. That is not something that they are supposed to be receiving while in the care of the state, and more specifically the corporations that own and operate those prisons. If those corporations did not work in order to properly secure and transport them out of a dangerous situation, be aware that every one of you has a lawsuit.
Go get your money, boo-boo.
Single one of you has the
your
ability
money.
to bankrupt that corporation, because they are absolutely responsible for the well-being of your family members. That none of you have to hear some terrible news. I want them all to be safe, because I am a human being, and despite their crimes, they are serving what they're supposed to do to repay for that crime. That is what the institution of corrections is meant to do, despite how we treat it, and despite the fact that we basically recycle people through the systems. The actual institution of corrections is meant to rehabilitate and punish for the crime, incarceration, and then allow them to rejoin society. If they are dealing with something that is beyond what they are supposed to be dealing with, you have every right to sue that company for putting your family members at risk. You have every right to sue the state of Florida for mishandling the funds that they pay this corporation without them being having anything in their contract to properly transport and secure the prisoners that are in their care. You need to remember that, and you are absolutely encouraged by myself, and I'm assuming the rest of my podcast members, you are absolutely should take them to task and get some level of alleviation for the stress and emotional damage that you went through, wondering if your loved one was going to make it through this hurricane, let alone any of the others that they probably have left them before.
Punitive damages for you and your loved one.
Listen,
Yes.
Run. Just walk up to the state house in Tallahassee and say, "Run me my check."
You want to understand how this country currently deals with issues like this. Follow the money, put them to task, and they will guarantee either the state of Florida, from the terror of them being pulled into a lawsuit like this, will either force them to properly care for the people in their charge, or that company itself will make it a damned focus that if something like this comes along, they will take care of the people that are in their charge and that they are making money off of. You want to talk about how a for-profit institution really functions? It is a modern day version of taking a person and owning them.
It's modern day slavery.
It is modern day slavery.
Because it is how they utilize that person being stuck in there for as long as they can physically do it. And if you really want to have fun,
paid next
investigate the judges who send the most of those people there.
Ooh.
Curious if they get any of the money that they happen to send people for, because it's happened in the past, and I guarantee it's happening now. There are judges who have friends who go on trips with people in the corrections industry. I refuse to call what we use as the corrections process. It is a corrections industry. So,
all right,
Professor Tig had a moment of just calling out corrections as a whole.
All right, and speaking of the state of Florida, Byron Donalds, bring your ass to the front of the congregation.
That poor man. We talk about him every time.
Byron Donalds, listen, let me tell you something. Byron Donalds, you're a liar. Your hairline is a lie. The things that you say are lies. Your face is a lie. That beard is a lie. Everything about you is a lie. And I'm tired of hearing you lying. And I am so glad that Keith Boykin called you out to your mother effing face. I am so glad that he did that. You are a liar. You lie. You don't know how, I don't know why you lie, but you lie. And I'm so tired of seeing you on my television telling lies. I'm just tired of it. The lies, the hair, the Beijing in your hair is not saving you from being a terrible person, boo-boo. I need you to do better. That was really the quick one that I had today. I'm tired of you lying. I'm just tired. I can't take it no more. If you need, just look up CNN and Byron Donalds and you'll see the video of the lies and Keith Boykin just letting him have what needed to be had, because I'm tired. The lie that you have to stop. You have to stop. Why are you setting the movement back, bitch? Why are you doing that? Look, they say all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and you are a perfect example. You and that motherfucker from North Carolina who's a black Nazi. I don't understand why y'all have to be this way. We didn't do anything for y'all. We didn't do anything to y'all. We didn't do anything to warrant this kind of behavior, but yet here we are. And I need you to stop it. I just need you to stop it. Go ahead.
I have found something that Colorado, come back in for a moment. I know you guys are wandering the hallway. Come back in for just a second.
They're hot. They're too hot. They can't.
Hold on. They're standing in the doorway with bleary eyes, but I can talk to them. So, Colorado, I found a small redeeming piece of your soul. I would like to bring up the point that in subsection 3, subpart D of that 18-1-703704, they reference back to notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 1 of this section, a person is not justified in using force if, jumping down to subsection D after reading that part, the use of physical force against another is based on the discovery of, knowledge about, or potential disclosure of a victim's actual or perceived gender, gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation, including but not limited to under circumstances in which the victim made an unwanted, non-forcible romantic or sexual advance toward the defendant. Nothing in this subsection 3D precludes the admission of evidence which is otherwise admissible of a victim's witness conduct, behavior, or statements. For those that don't speak lawyer, they basically said trans fright, or whatever the hell the term is not allowed. You cannot use that. I found a piece of your soul. Thank you for that. This entire section of your statutes scares me, but that small piece gives me hope that at least you understand a piece of how terrible humans can be. So thank you for that little piece that gives me some hope that you aren't just a bunch of mushroom chewing, marijuana smoking, high people who don't care about shit.
Oh, Jesus.
They're probably not doing any of that.
He said mushroom chew, and he meant that.
Nor the special K.
So, Tig, do you have anybody else? Because I've got 2 more people that need to get cussed out.
That would involve going to therapy.
At this moment, no. I know there's another person I wanted to, but I can't think of them right now. So
okay,
you keep rolling, and we'll jump in and
keep
help throw mud.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, please bring your ass to the front of the congregation, and whatever machine that they are using to control the weather, bring that ass up too. I'm gonna need for you to shut up and just be crazy in your corner. I don't know if y'all saw the tweet, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that the people that they, and we know who they are, controlling the weather. They control the weather, and they're putting these hurricanes in Republican places to depress the vote. Ma'am, is this Jewish space lasers all over again? Is this what this is? Is this what you're doing? I want you, like, for 2 seconds, for literally 2 seconds, when you was fighting with Laura Loomer, I was on your side. And I said to myself, we are living in a bizarro world because I am siding with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And here you come with the weather machines, creating hurricanes. Because you just can't shut up and do that.
Media now.
My fault. I pulled up that video from the Heritage Foundation again on accident.
So that was you. We know you're dumb. We know you don't know no good. We know you don't do good words. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave
Chaos
you
Agent.
again. Yep, Chaos Agent. Why can't I remember her name right now? What is it? Hold on. But she's got a good cussing out coming. Because I've been ready to cuss her out for literal years now. I've just been waiting for the time to do it. And oh Jesus, and you gave me the time right now. Hold on. I'm thinking, just give me a second. I'm looking it up because this bitch got to get it. And I mean it. Megyn Kelly. How much did your soul cost? So, a couple weeks back, and we didn't get to do the episode because, again, I was in the middle of something and I couldn't, and it was just too much going on in my life. I couldn't do it. You had someone on your show who literally said the N-word. Said it. We could hear it. They even slowed the clip down to make sure that we heard the words that came out of his mouth. And then you are going to sit here and gaslight us and say that immigrants and the N-word sound the same.
Rich Lowry.
Thank you. Rich Lowry. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't immigrants. He said migrants. Them two words don't sound nowhere near the same. They don't sound the same. They're not the same words.
And I never promote somebody ever having to put themselves into the position of hearing that word uttered. But go watch the half speed of that. It is a full hard R.
Hard R. The hardest of all.
He says the whole word. It is not a flub. He says the whole hard R at the end and then quickly tries to cover it up.
And we all heard it. And you tried to gaslight us into saying that we didn't hear. And this was before you cussed out Taylor Swift for endorsing Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
How much did it cost for your soul? You are the same person who is slut shaming Kamala Harris right now after being worried and upset about being slut shamed because people thought that you were sleeping with Roger Ailes. We can see your hypocrisy. We can see it. It's right there. It's right. It's for everyone to see. It's for all of us to see. We can see it. Why can't you? And finally, because we've been doing this for an hour now, and y'all know how I am, and I got to get up early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
The Heritage Foundation, and I'm gonna let Tig do this. Go get him, Tig.
Hold on. I need a moment. The Heritage Foundation. As a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, upper-middle-class boy from the Midwest, in every possible physical, metaphysical, emotional, and spiritual way, go fucking sit on a cactus. You are the embodiment of the current vintage of white nationalism. And it, by reference, for those that are confused on what I mean by that, let me fully put that back. White
Hold on, before you do that.
Christian nationalists.
It never gets old.
Every time. It's fine. Professor Tig has had a few sips and is happy to share his full opinions on the Heritage Foundation. You are the current embodiment and the personification of the white Christian nationalist movement. And I say that with every dripping piece of vehemence and hatred that burns in the darkest pits of my soul. You came from... every one of you, I could trace your lineage back, or at least the ideals and ideologues that you follow, to the slave owners in the South, to the oppressors of the Jewish people in Europe. I can trace every ounce and every bit of the darkness in your souls to the white hoods, the jack boots, and every damnable person who has ever walked this earth, because the only thing that you all seem to care about is how to make the white people proud. There is no place for you in these United States. You have a view of the future of this country that I wish will burn in the ashes that I found one of your books. The hatred, the single-minded restructuring of history that you are attempting to force upon the children of this nation is so pathetic. It is so sad. It is such a deep and dark and terrible place to try to take the rest of this country that I cannot begin to describe how much I hate. I cannot begin to describe. You know what? I've got a fun one. It's Leif Erikson Day. I wish that white man had never come here, because he brought your putridness to these shores. And for all those who think I'm calling out the Vikings and the age of exploration, I'm not. I'm calling out the people that you assholes represent in whatever dark, terrible corners that you crawl out of. I play D&D. You guys barely begin to make people, for those that know about D&D, barely begin to come from the idea of the mind flayers. You are worse than them. You single-mindedly press forward with the idea that you're somehow going to make this a country better. Tell me how. Explain to me how you have a cartoon of Christopher Columbus for education for children with these two kids who don't really understand or were taught in their school that Christopher Columbus came and enslaved and hurt people in this country. So you have them in this fantastical little terrible production, first off, foremost. Just absolutely, like, looks like it was made in some corner of some really sad man's basement. But you have them go up and ask him why he enslaved people, why he hurt people, and he says it was a different time. Is that when America was great? Is that what you're referencing? Because he goes on to say, well, would you rather have them be slaves or be killed? Why are those your options? Why is that what you're trying to convince children were the options? The way that you try to describe Christopher Columbus as a great person is sad. The way that you try to convince children that they were better off as slaves versus being killed. You know what you could have done? Traded with them, learned about their culture. The United States, for those that are very curious, here's another Professor Tiggs moment. The United States got our Constitution. Oh, I'll wait. I'll let my intro go through first. Here's a fun one for all of you white nationalist douchebags. You know where we got our Constitution? It wasn't Magna Carta. It wasn't any random framework from the brilliant minds of the founding fathers. They stole, S-T-O-L-E. I'll make sure you understand what word I'm saying. It from the Iroquois nation. Our document took huge chunks of its ideas from the Confederation of Iroquois Nations, the Six Nations. It did. Does it not? Did they not embellish it or turn it into something of their own? They did. But if you're trying to claim that we're such a great nation, recognize that we took things from others. Other people who were more organized and better suited to collectively bargaining and collectively supporting each other in a way that we don't see today. Don't
'Cause that's it.
downtrod their efforts and their fantastic things. Columbus found America. He didn't, but you know, you're all idiots. We'll keep going with 1492. So Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Whatever. He did not find the United States. He
They
found a
didn't send
bunch
their
of
best.
islands, and they did not even want to send him. They just said, "Get out of here. You're bothering us." But what they did do is they did come to an island where they could have learned wonderful things. The number of times that European white people have stolen from the rest of the world and claimed it as their own is immeasurable. And the Heritage Foundation is wanting to rewrite that and push it forward. So in the nicest way possible, I hope every one of you enjoys, as Weird Al would say, I'll be laughing my ass off when you're burning in hell. Have a good one.
Oof. And on that note, this was another episode of Queer and Present Danger. Cut them out edition.
Mine are always funny.
Hope you learned something.
Please
Professor Tiggs
tell me,
explained.
if nothing else, when Professor Tiggs goes off on his damn tangent, some of you pay attention. I know I get in deep giggity, but I hope that some of you actually will take some of the information I provide and actually take a moment to learn.
I need
Go
somebody
and
to
research
do
it.
I need one of y'all people out there in the world and to manage the TikTok so we can put clips of this on TikTok, because that would be amazing. But I ain't doing it. But guys,
And please call your
I'll
Congress people.
I'll
and
take it.
Urge them
Yeah.
to
Urge
have
them
an
to get
emergency
back and help
session
people.
immediately.
Call them
Pass
up.
the aid.
The
FEMA's already
numbers are
said they have
readily
it.
available.
They have it available. They're ready to distribute it. They just need the approval.
Thanks, Taylor.
And it can't come from Joe Biden. It's got to come from Congress.
He doesn't control the purse. For all of you who thinks the president does all this crazy shit, he doesn't. He signs papers that tell his bureaucracy to go do its job, but they can't do it without the money. The money comes from Congress. Learn your basic political system.
and if you
All
live
of
in the
that.
state of Missouri, you have 2 hours to register to vote.
And you still can. It's in the website. One of us will hold on. I'll find it.
October
I'm gonna post
10th
it before
is the
this
deadline.
ends.
For Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
I thought that was like the national deadline.
No. Everyone's deadline is
No,
different.
each state gets to choose.
Ooh.
So please
Interesting.
make sure you get your ass out there and vote.
So
because
go to
listen-
rockthevote.com and it will
And-
give you all the information
Yeah,
you need.
and another quick note for everybody. I know we were running
right?
real close on time. That's the private chat. Let me put this in the comments. Hold on.
Now that he said that, I'm gonna put it in the comments and then left. Listen, y'all, Tig is old. He don't know how to do things. But listen, go to your local government website. It'll have on there where you can register to vote. It's there. I believe it's us. It's Ohio. It's like three or four other states where tonight at midnight is the deadline. Tyler, you said tomorrow is Oklahoma.
I kept seeing things that said, "Oh, he did put it in the private. He put it in the chat. Can't sign in." I saw it on Facebook or whatever. It said like there were banners and things that said, "Be sure to register to vote by October 10th."
Yeah.
So
Sorry
because
for everybody
that's-
for me ducking out there. I was trying to get into the chat to post it, but I posted it in our private chat. If one of you can put it forward, because for some reason StreamYard's like, you don't exist. What?
Yeah, I literally said you left, and I was like, he's old. You just gotta let him do it. It's fine. He
No,
don't
my
know what
computer's
buttons
just
to
being dumb, and you know how dumb my computer is.
That computer dumb as hell.
But
All right,
the other thing I
guys.
was going to say real
Go
quick
ahead.
was for those of you in any state, especially Texas, Georgia, Pennsylvania hasn't screwed them, Arizona, check your registration. Do it now. Check your registration right now. Verify that they haven't purged you off the thing. In Texas, for those that are not aware of this, they burned, and that's how I'm going to phrase it. They burned 1 million votes. They
Oklahoma did the
cleared
same.
1 million votes. Oklahoma, that's another.
I think it was 400,000 or 600,000. And here's how they did it, and this really pisses me off.
Go for it.
So what they did in 2020 was they sent out this mailer that said you have to respond that you are still that you're still wanting to register to vote, or that you still live at this address, and everything like that, and set your affiliation, or your registration will be deleted.
Yep. I'm
And they
wondering
did
how
that.
well those messages got out to places where, they just happen to have lost your letter.
Oh, they did it right before the they did it in 2020, right before the 2020 election.
Yeah. I would be
Like, it was
fascinated. Not that I'm
purposeful.
calling anybody out for it, but I'd be fascinated to know if out of those 1 million voters, if over 700,000 or more happen to be Democrats, just in case they happen to, focus on one party.
And just as a note, guys,
I will say I was registered Republican at the time. I know. And that was actually the thing that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like, if you're going to nullify my registration and make me re-register, then y'all can go and sit on the biggest pole, sit on the fucking praying hands over there at Oral Roberts University,
sit on the Jesus slide and Independence.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There was one more person that I want. Speaking of gay Republicans, there was one more person I wanted to catch up. It ain't gonna take that long. It's not. I promise it's not gonna take that long because I know that I want to have some time and talk to y'all outside of this, and I also know I got to get up at 7:30 in the morning. So, Chingy, bring your ass to the front of the congregation. You thought we forgot.
Did you say Chingy?
I did say Chingy. Yes, that's the first time I've said Chingy in 15 years. But here we go. Here we go. Here it is. Here's the deal.
Right there.
If you don't sit your ass right there, listen, if you had told us that the log cabin Republicans asked you to be a part of their celebration, their get out the vote celebration, and you said I needed the money, I would have been all right. I would have been like, listen, baby, get it how you live it. Get your coins. It is what it is. But you had the nerve and unmitigated gall to tell us that your music is timeless and that you don't care about political affiliation. All you do, because music is the great equalizer, and you want to make a state. Shut up. Stay over there. Go back to the Holiday Inn. Do what you got to do.
And bring 2 of your friends.
Bring 2 of your friends. You can bring 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't care. But leave us alone.
Fantastic.
Your music is not. Who do you think you are, Stevie Wonder?
To wonder who you are in 20 years.
I'm wondering why you thought and you really thought that was going to be the thing that was going to get it. Like, sir, sit down. And to the log cabin Republicans, we see you.
That's like Kanye saying that he has the vocals of the
Andrea Bocelli.
generation.
No, shut up, Kanye. We weren't talking to you. Don't even bring his name up. He's like Beetlejuice. You can't say his name more than 3 times. Don't do it. He'll show up and cause chaos. But I just want you to leave us alone. You could. I'm sorry that they cut your shift at the local Kroger, and you had to do a show to make your rent this month. I'm very sorry that that's the case. But you could have just told us that.
He did a casino show here like a few weeks ago, actually.
And tens of people were there.
I was like, Chingy? Really?
Did y'all listen? Did y'all know that Chingy came out with a comeback single?
Get that millennial money.
Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that he came out with a new song?
A comeback to what? Does he think he's one of the great rappers of Drake and that whole mess?
What I want him to do, this song came out in April, and I promise you, I've never heard it, and I'm never going to. Leave us alone and stop playing in our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, guys, this has been a wonderful show. You know, check out my socials, check out Tig's socials, Shadows to Light, and check out his email or his website. Do all of the things. But we're gonna get off of here right now because I got to go. I can't do it no more. I forgot about Chingy, and now I'm off for Clint again. I can't do it. That shit pisses me off just thinking about it. The man who sang Right There, talk about my music is timeless.
It's
it's out of time.
It's what you get when you order Lil Jon on Wish.
On Wish. Not on Temu. That's Temu stuff. That's Temu brand. Shein. That's Shein. I love it when you do that right there. No.
I'm gonna Shane another song.
Leave us alone, bitch. And on that note, good night, guys.
You made my night with that.
Night, everybody.
Good night.